All right. So this is going to be a guide showing you how to set up the one button macro that I use for doing my DPS rotation and the cast sequence macro that I use for popping my damage cooldowns. So the first thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to open up your options under gameplay. In action bars, you're going to want to turn off action bar 4 and action bar 5. Now the reason why you want these off is because this macro requires 4 action bars to page through. So if you see here, this number indicates what action bar I am on my main action bar, and right now I'm on 1. So if you press the up arrow, it will change it to 2. If you press it again, it will change it to 3. If you press it one more time, it will change it to 4. So you need 4 action bars in order to facilitate this macro. So just make sure, again, you go into gameplay, action bar, and turn off action bar 4 and action bar 5. So once you have that done, you're going to want to go into your macros and you're going to want to create 4 separate macros here. So these macros will be found in the description. You can copy and paste them. And then once you have that done, you're going to want to take Fury 1 and you're going to want to add it to action bar 1. Now you want to make sure you are on action bar 1. This is indicated by this number here. So you're just going to grab Fury 1 and you're going to place it on a bind on this main action bar that's the most comfortable for you. I use my side mouse button, so I'm just going to place it there. And then you're going to switch it to action bar 2 by using this up arrow key. So once you're on action bar 2, which is indicated by this number, you're going to want to grab Fury 2 and place it in the same spot that you placed the other macro on the previous bar. And then you're going to want to switch to action bar 3 and do the same thing here. Grab Fury 3, put it in the same spot, switch to action bar 4, grab Fury 4, and then put that in the same spot as well. So I would suggest coming down to the target dummies and testing them out to make sure that they work. So if it does work, it should switch me to action bar 1. So I'm going to press it. It switches me to action bar 1, but now the macro that I previously put there is missing. Now the reason why that happened is because battle stance, or this is just all warrior stances, have their own macro or their own action bars specifically for that stance. So battle stance has its own action bar, defensive stance has its own action bar, and then berserker stance again has its own action bar. So I'm still on action bar 1, I'm in berserker stance. I'm going to go back in here to my macros and I'm going to grab Fury 1 and put it in the same spot that I previously put the rest of those macros. So once you've done that, go back to the target dummy and now press it. Now, if it works, it should switch me to action bar 2. So let's press it. It switches me to 2. If I press it again, it switches me to 3. If I press it again, it switches me to 4. And I press it again, it switches me to 1. So if it works properly, it should cycle through all the action bars in order of 1, 2, 3, 4. And which it does. So that means I set it up properly. Now you're going to want to do the same thing. Create 4 macros. This is for Cleave, the Cleave variant of the exact same rotation, except this is for AoE, not single target. So you're going to want to create, these will be found in the description. You can copy and paste them. So you're going to want to take Fury Cleave 1, make sure you're on action bar 1, and place it on your Cleave bind. I use 2. And then you're going to want to change the action bar to action bar 2, grab the Fury Cleave 2, put that in the same spot, change the action bar 3, grab Fury Cleave 3, put that in the action bar, change it to 4, grab Fury Cleave 4, and put that in the action bar as well. And then you want to go back to the target dummy, and then test them out. So if I press it, it should change my action bar, and it does. So it goes 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. It works perfectly fine. But I'm in berserker stance. You have to remember that I didn't put any action bar cleaves on my battle stance. So if I go to action bar 1 in battle stance, I'm missing it from that action bar. So you're gonna want to go to Fury Cleave 1 and then add that to battle stance 2 or wherever you put it on your action bars. So that's pretty much it. That's how this one button works. It just pages through each action bar and tries to press the buttons. So this one button does not change stances to maintain the T1 6-piece set. You're going to have to create a separate macro for changing stances to do that. I use overpower. So it's just a simple macro of start attack, cast overpower, cast battle stance. So I put that on my bar just above my main action bar, right above my one button macro. So the reason why I do this is because when this weak aura pops up, I press overpower, and then I keep spamming my one button. Now, this will change stances for me from battle back into Berserk, maintaining my T1 6-piece set. That's pretty much it. This is how I do DPS. Simple as that. Okay. So for my cast sequence, if you do not play an Orc Warrior, you do not have access to Blood Fury, which is the racial ability that Orcs get. This is baked into the cast sequence. You're going to want to remove Blood Fury from the cast sequence. If you play any other race other than Orc, you will not, this cast sequence will not work. It will just get stuck on Blood Fury. Another thing too, Trinket 13 is this trinket slot. It's the second last trinket slot. If you don't have a on-use trinket, meaning the chalice or the flask, then it will again get stuck after switching stances. You also have to be in Berserker stance when you use this cast sequence because it starts Bloodthirst and then switches to battle. So if you're in battle, it will do Bloodthirst and then it can't switch from battle to battle, so it won't switch and it will just get stuck here. It's happened to me a few times in raid. You just have to remember that you have to be in Berserker stance. This will most likely be the case because the one button macro always forces you into Berserker stance. So just remember, if you are not an Orc Warrior, you have to remove Blood Fury from this cast sequence. In my previous video, I made like a warning in the description to try and tell people that this is only for Orc, and I put a separate cast sequence for any other race, but I guess it must have went unseen. So I take this macro and I put it above my other Bloodthirst here, just because it starts with Bloodthirst. So that's my shift 3. And the way that this works is you have to build a little bit of rage, because Death Wish, you just gotta remember here, Death Wish costs 10 rage, Bloodthirst costs 30 rage, so we're at 40, and then Heroic Strike costs 12, so we're at 52. So if you get up to 60 rage, which is when this rage bar here, if you use my weak auras, if this rage bar goes green, that means you're good to go. So then I just spam it. And it pops every damage cooldown that I have until it gets to the helmet, and then it stops. And that's pretty much it. This is how I do DPS. That's it, that's all. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments. Hopefully this video helps you use my one button and it fix any things you had problems with. Bye-bye.